San Jose Barracuda goalie Gabe Carriere joins the show to talk about his journey to San Jose, getting his NHL contract, and making a save while sitting on his butt.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast covering your favorite team in the Bay Area. My name is JD Young, caretaker of the Reef, also the co-host of Locked On NHL. I want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. Proudly part of the Locked On Network, we cover your team every day. And on today's episode, we are joined by Gabe Carriere, San Jose Barracuda goalie. We talk about him signing his first NHL contract, of course, getting his first AHL start out, his kind of journey, his hockey journey to San Jose, kind of when he started to become a goalie, all that fun stuff. So before we get to that, do want to let you guys know that today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. And now we have Gabe Carriere, one of the newest San Jose Sharks, just signing his contract recently. San Jose Barracuda. Gabe, how's it going, buddy?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. I do have to ask, I always ask most guys, like, when did you realize like hockey could be your thing? Like, could be the thing that you kind of build your life around?
I don't know. Obviously, I played it since I was as young as I can remember. But growing up, I think hockey and soccer were two sports that I played pretty competitively until maybe 14, 15.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kind of lost interest in soccer. And then I guess I focused my full attention on hockey. And then I just kept going from there.
So as a goalie, I always ask, why a goalie? what made you become a goalie?
Well, when I was younger, obviously I was a player starting out. Everyone was a player. And then we would rotate who would become a goalie every game. And so whenever my turn would come to be a goalie, I was always super excited. And I loved it. And then the first year that you could become a goalie full time, you had to try out. So I did that tryout. I was hoping to become a goalie. And then I was actually the last one to get picked to become a full-time goalie. So I don't know what would have happened if I didn't make that, but it all worked out from there.
Your poor parents and all the gear, right?
Yeah.
All right. So you're, wanting to be a goalie. Who was your favorite goalie growing up?
I'd say probably from Canada, Price was a big one. He was just so good when I was growing up. Obviously him being with the Team Canada and the Olympics and all that. Like, I loved watching him. I loved his style too. And I just thought he was a good goalie and seemed like a good guy too.
But Price is great, generational guy. Who's the best ever? Who's the one guy you think this is the greatest goalie ever?
The best ever. That's a tough one. I mean, I did go to a playoff game at one point, Ottawa versus New Jersey. I think when Brodeur was still playing, and he was lights out. So I think he's definitely up there. It was awesome for me to see him live.
Mm-hmm.
But I think goalies nowadays too, obviously like Hellebuck's doing like unreal. I think there's something to be said because I think with the new technology and all that, I think obviously shots are getting harder and the game's getting faster. So I think there's something to be said about goalies nowadays that are doing well, like Hellebuck and Vasilevsky, Shesterkin, all those guys. I think those are very, very talented guys too.
For me, it's always Hasek. I'm a little bit older than you. And Hasek, when I was a kid, because of the style with him, where he's just like flying around the crease and doing like cartwheels and stuff.
He would have some crazy saves.
Yeah. So like he's always the one that me and my friends would try to, imitate when we were doing floor hockey and stuff like that. Because like, you could just spit around and you're fine. Like it's fine. You can do that and stuff. But yeah.
Hoping it hits you somehow.
Yeah, you just hope. But it always hit him though. That's why he's my personal. I think he's the greatest. But okay, so you good Canadian boy, but you went the NCAA route. which you're seeing more and more Canadian guys do. But any decision on like why you wanted to go that route, or was that kind of your avenue to continue to play hockey?
Yeah, I think growing up, I'd always like considered both options. Obviously, being from Ottawa, Ontario, like the OHL would have been my route through the CHL, and it actually happened that I was injured my OHL draft year, so that kind of sidelined me a bit, and I didn't get picked in that draft. And then they had the U18 draft. The first year they ever did it was when my age group. So I was drafted into that, and then I went to the Kingston camp for the team that drafted me, and nothing really came of it. And then at that point, I think I would have only had 2 years of CHL eligibility by the time I signed. So then at that point, I was leaning more towards schooling, and obviously I understood it. I've heard great things about it. Guys loved it. So then I kind of shifted my focus towards that because I figured getting 4 full years of development in hockey would benefit me the most, especially as a goalie. It could take a bit longer.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah, especially you kind of feel bad for some of these kid or like these CHL, especially goalies, right? Where it's like it's a much shorter shelf life. I feel like for the CHL guys compared to the NCAA guys, right?
Yeah, it's definitely much more cutthroat. I think you need to perform really well at a young age, and I don't know if I would have been cut out for that. I think I really benefited from the extra time.
So you went to University of Vermont first. What's a catamount?
It's like a panther, basically.
Okay,
A big cat in the east.
Gotcha.
Not extinct now at this point in Vermont, but
I was gonna say, did you actually see a catamount in your time in Vermont? Could you fight a catamount?
No, probably not. Probably get destroyed.
Sounds good. All right, so Vermont, did you have like when you're going through your recruitment process? What drew you to Vermont? Did you have any other options that you're looking at?
Yeah, so Vermont was always. So first of all, I think looking at a school, I was really interested in the sciences and animal biology, so zoology.
Catamounts.
And so, yeah, exactly. And so when I was researching possible schools that I'd like to go to, I think only a couple of them had that program, and Vermont was one of them. And so when they reached out to me, it was perfect. Not to mention they were about 3.5 hours from home, so pretty close. Far enough, but not too close. And
perfect. Yes, it was perfect distance.
So, yep. Yeah, and then I went on a visit there, and I loved the staff, loved Burlington, the city it was in. It was just perfect, a great fit.
Your time at Vermont, what was your favorite on ice moment at Vermont?
I'd have to go with probably our win against Maine in the playoffs there, my junior year, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
It was in Maine, and Maine's always a super loud rink, so obviously it's fun to go on a visiting rink and kind of quiet the crowd a little bit. So that was a fun game.
All right. Playing in college, very much like one goalie kind of gets a run, not like in pros where you tend to have a little bit more of a balanced, kind of shared time between. So what's it like having the crease to yourself, or do you occasionally kind of like having the game off to kind of sit there and watch, or how do you like going about it?
Yeah, I think it's just structured differently. So obviously you play way less games in college. So like in college, usually your week looks about the same every time. You have Monday through Thursday to practice and get ready, kind of ramp up towards the game.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas and so far in my first year here, it's been a lot more games and a lot more maintaining, maybe less intense some days, and trying to just stay fresh and 100% for when game time comes, because there's a lot more of them at this level.
So do you like though, like kind of, because even in college, right, you play back-to-backs way more. You see goalies just play back-to-back more with the rest. Is kind of playing that back-to-back style. Do you like that? Because you're just like, this is my crease, or do you like having that game off though?
I like both. I like, obviously playing back-to-back is always fun, especially you have a good game, you can keep rolling. And if you don't, well, then you have another opportunity to turn it around. So, yeah, I think either is good.
All right, before we continue with Gabe Carriere, we kind of get to know him, his time in San Jose, signing his contract, all that fun stuff. Do need to take a quick break. Scaling your business requires the right expertise at the right time. With Upwork, you can find specialized freelancers in marketing, development, design, and more, experts ready to help take your business to the next level. Upwork gives businesses flexibility by connecting them with top freelance talent across multiple industries, including IT, AI, web development, and marketing. Whether you need extra hands for a project or a long-term partner, Upwork helps make hiring simple and affordable. You can post a job for free and simple, and within a day, multiple qualified candidates to choose from. And instead of hiring full-time, Upwork helps keep things affordable with top-tier freelancers to scale my business efficiently. Visit Upwork.com right now and post your job for free. That's Upwork, UPWORK.com, Upwork.com to connect with top talent and grow your business today. There's nothing like watching basketball live. The energy of the crowd, the sound of the sneakers on the hardwood, and maybe even a celebrity sighting courtside. If you want to catch a game in person, Game Time makes getting tickets easier than ever. Game Time's new feature, Game Time Picks, filters out the fluff to only show you incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time scrolling through thousands of tickets. I've used Game Time for a bajillion of events. And with Game Time Picks, they even highlight super deals, giving you the best bang for your buck. So if you want to go see Steph Curry do cool Steph Curry things with Jimmy Butler, Game Time Picks has got you covered. You can take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time, download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNHL, LOCKEDON, NHL for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. When you're the backup, is it super easy to get distracted? Because I would totally my mind would be elsewhere, right?
Some days, yeah. Some days it's nice to kind of shut your mind off a little bit, but not too much because you never know what can happen. But yeah, I think it's nice just seeing the game from a different perspective and just enjoying it a little bit more.
Are you? I know there's some goalies they'll have the little snacks in the pads. Are you a snacker while you watch the game as a backup, or no?
Not in the pads. I don't want any melted chocolate sitting in the pads, but I will definitely eat in between the intermissions. I will eat a lot more. For some reason, when I'm not playing, I get a lot more hungry. When I'm, I guess, in the game, I'm just not really thinking about it as much.
The adrenaline, yeah, totally makes sense. So, all right. After you finished college, you came to San Jose. Did you have a lot of other offers for kind of your ATO, tryout and then an AHL contract, or kind of what drew you to San Jose?
Yeah, I guess I had a couple, but I think it happened. It was about a week after our season last year. I was just kind of waiting around, seeing what my best opportunities were, and then my agent told me about San Jose, and I thought it was a good spot for me. And then once he introduced me to that, it all happened pretty quick. Within 48 hours, I was on the plane on the way there. So that is one thing I learned is things happen really quickly.
Yeah, I know, especially quickly that all of a sudden you're in Wichita and then you're back to San Jose and Wichita. Yeah. It goes really quickly, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So you got a game last year, of course, and then you started the season playing for Wichita, and you played really well in the ECHL. How big of a confidence booster was that for you to kind of start your pro career this year? So on such a good start.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, obviously last year, I just played one game, but I think I was there for about a month and just practicing with those guys and being with Nabby and the whole staff there. Kind of seeing the day in, day out routine. I think that helped a bunch. And then that kind of helped me gear up in the summer with my training. And then, I had a good start with Wichita and had some good games, and it was fun. And obviously you just kind of try to roll with that momentum when you have it.
You don't have to answer this, but I'm going to ask it anyway. 3 games in 3 days that they do in the ECHL is crazy, right?
Yeah, I think I think we can all agree that it's crazy.
It's crazy. I understand the travel stuff with the ECHL. It's a little bit harder, but it's crazy, especially the poor skaters by like that third day. Yeah, I don't know how they.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully, I haven't had to play 3 games in 3 days as a goalie, but I could only imagine for the players how they must
You would by the third day, they're just like tie me up to the post. I'll do my best. I don't want it to go.
But also the way they like our games, anyways, were structured. It would be like 7 o'clock, and then 6 o'clock, and then 3 o'clock. So every day you get less rest in between each game.
We're doing 8 a.m. the next day, guys.
Yeah.
Good luck. Oh, that sounds brutal, man. Like that's again, I understand, but yeah. One guy who's been kind of around with you at Wichita and now in San Jose is Aaron Dell, who has, a grizzled veteran. He's been there, done that. What's it like just having a guy like Dell who has been there and done that to kind of pick his brain?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, obviously he's been through a ton, and he's got a lot of experience. So I kind of try to pick his brains a little bit, see what he's thinking. And he kind of just told me to, when we were in Wichita, he just said, make the most of it and kind of have a good attitude and work your hardest, and then things will work out from there. And that meant a lot coming from a guy like him, seeing, I think he's played in all 3 leagues as well at some point in his career. So it meant a lot, and definitely try to take it try to become a sponge around him, try to take some of his habits and some of the advice he gives me, take it all in.
Have you seen his guitar collection?
No, I haven't. He did bring one in Wichita though, so I've seen that one. I didn't know he has a collection though.
Yeah, I know he's got a few. I've had him on the show and stuff, and yeah, he's pretty good.
Really?
Yes, so I think if he wanted, like, there's a different life where Aaron Dell is like a rock star, but instead of a goalie. But yeah, no,
did he have? You think?
I know he's got, like, he has more, like, he's got at least a handful of them, but yeah, he's got a few of them. So definitely pick his brain about his guitar collection. So and he always has, like, his pads are like they do have that nod to, yeah. So all right, another guy who he's been hurt, but I know he's been around. Askarov, he's just a different dude, right?
He's awesome. He's so nice. I mean, first time I met him, he just introduces himself and just makes you feel like welcome and all that. And yeah, he's a great guy. I love being
I know. Have you gotten a chance? I don't know if you've gotten, because there's, with the timeline of him being in the NHL and then coming back and then with him injury, have you been around when he's played at all?
For short stints, yeah, maybe like a couple games here and there, but he's so smooth. Like he makes the game look easy, and there's a reason why he is who he is, so
it's like a guy as big as him should not move that way, right?
Yeah, so smoothly and calm, and yeah, he's awesome.
Does he worry you when he plays the puck? Like, do you hold your breath sometimes when he plays the puck? Because I do. I'm not a goalie. I'm just an idiot on my couch, but I hold my breath every time he plays the puck. 99% of the time it works out, but there's that 1%, right?
Sometimes he does, just because he's better at me than handling the puck. And then if I'm just thinking in my head, if I was in that situation, I would definitely turn it over. But then he always finds a way to make a play. So
he finds a way. He's going to give us all gray hairs, but it's going to be well worth it. So, all right. So you've gotten almost a year now between start of last year and this year with playing professionally. What do you think is the biggest difference between professionally versus NCAA hockey?
Yeah, I think we touched on it earlier, but I think it's just the schedule, like playing way more games. Obviously, I think a big part of that comes consistency. So if you're playing more, you just got to make sure that you show up every night. And I think that's one big thing that I've tried to dial in. But yeah, and I'd say other than that, also hockey-wise, it's just everything's a bit quicker. Guys can make plays. As a goalie, guys screen and tip better in front, so that makes it a bit harder as well.
All right, before we finish up with Gabe, of course, we ask socks and skates. Do need to take a quick break.
The NCAA tournament is here, and so is the Bracket Breakdown.
Locked On Podcast Network and Amazon Fire TV channels are teaming up to deliver NCAA tournament coverage like never before. Watch studio shows featuring former players and Locked On's local experts as they guide you through every upset, buzzer beater, and bracket matchup.
Stream it all for free on Amazon Fire TV channel. Search Bracket Breakdown to see it all for free.
It's your team every day.
A couple weeks ago, you made a save against Bakersfield where you're literally sitting on your butt and you somehow are able to get across and deny somebody. Was that one of your favorite saves? Do you know which one I'm talking about? First of all, I would hope you, yes. How, like, go through that moment there.
Well, I just remember them shooting it down from the right side. And then I remember they tipped it. So then I'm like, okay, I got to slide towards my right side, and then something happens, there's a scramble, and then I end up on my butt and I see the puck pop out to the left side. I look over, I'm on my back, and I just see a guy coming down at the puck. I'm like, oh no. So then I just try to get everything I can across and take as much net as possible, and then thankfully it just ended up in my glove, and that's like the best feeling as a goalie, when you just feel the puck going in your netting, especially when it's a desperation like that.
You don't want to make every save look like that, but it's nice to know that you can do it, right?
Yeah. No, I definitely wouldn't want to put that much stress on myself.
All right. And then, of course, recently, you signed your first NHL deal. What did that moment mean to you to kind of be like, I'm signing an NHL deal?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was awesome. I mean, obviously it's like as a kid, it's one of your big goals you want to accomplish when you grow up. But it all happened so quickly. Like within 10 minutes, I found out about it to having signed it. So it didn't really fully sink in until a bit later, but it was definitely something I'm very proud of.
Who's the first person you call after that?
My mom and then my girlfriend.
We'll say mom first for.
Yeah, but we were also skating. We had morning skate like 10 minutes or after, go really fast to get dressed. So
gotcha. And then you go out and you get your first AHL shutout to just kind of put the cherry on top of that day. So what was that like? A shutout in the AHL like that? That's a big moment there.
Yeah, I mean that was a roller coaster of a day. I definitely slept well that night, but yeah, it was awesome. It was fun to get that for sure.
What part, like when you have a shutout going, are you like, does it start to creep into your mind? Like, oh, I haven't let one in yet. Like when does it start to creep in?
I guess probably like around the third at some point. Try not to really think about it, but I think inevitably it will like sneak in your mind at some point, but definitely don't say it out loud.
No, you don't. Nick Nolenberg, he jinxed one of you guys recently. I think it was Romanov with like 5 minutes left in the third. And they're like, oh, Romanov's got a shutout going, and then like immediately gives up a goal right after that.
Yeah, that's the worst.
The worst. Noli will say they have no influence on it, but we know better. Won. The announcer 100% has a influence on it. So, okay. You've been in San Jose for a little bit. I know you spent half the season in Wichita as well. So what do you think of just the city so far of San Jose? I know growing up in Ottawa, it's much colder there than it is here. So nice to get to wear like shorts and flip-flops to the rink. Yeah,
definitely different. I'm not used to having that type of attire going to the rink unless it's like summer training, but it is nice. Also nice seeing the palm trees around and all that. But yeah, it's been great. I've loved it so far, and I've been to San Francisco a little bit, kind of explore that area too. So a lot of different stuff around that I want to see that hopefully I'll be able to get to do.
Have you gotten to go to like Santa Cruz or go to the beach yet?
Yeah, I've got to Santa Cruz. I hope to go to Carmel soon. I heard that's a nice spot too.
Yes.
Recently, I also drove up that number 1 highway on the coast there, so that was really nice too.
Yes, that was really fun. That's a nice Sunday afternoon drive with type of drive. Love, yeah. I haven't driven the one in a while, but yeah, it's a super nice drive there. So, all right, goalie pads and masks, right? It's your kind of way to give yourself your own flair and creativity. When it comes to that, do you have a guy that you just trust? Do you have some kind of like, this is what I'm looking for? How does your goalie pads and mask come together?
Pads wise, I kind of just do it on my own. Usually, I don't know. I usually like to keep it more on the simple side, so a bit more white, but then incorporate like the teal and a bit of black too. So I usually do that on my own, and then I'll send New Jax as my painter for my helmet. So I'll send him like the design that I'm thinking for my pads, and then a couple ideas I have for a helmet, and then he'll draw something up, and then maybe tweak it if I think anything needs to be changed, and then he always comes up with something awesome. So I've had him since freshman year of college now, so 5 years.
Man, it's like finding a barber, right? You find this is your dude, right? He's going to be your dude for the rest of your career.
With him.
Yes. It's when you're kind of doing it, like knowing like I might spend some time in the ECHL, I might spend some time in the AHL. Are you trying to like find something that matches? Because Wichita's got like a lot of blue and darker colors, and the Sharks, of course, like the teal, and you have a little bit of orange and stuff like that. Are you trying to find something that fits in the happy medium there?
No, not really. I think it's kind of impossible to do with those colors, especially other teams too. Some of those colors are really different. I think usually they kind of want you to do it for the team, for the AHL team. So that's kind of what I tried to do.
Do you feel a little weird, like I'm sure you've had that before, where you're wearing like colors from one team and then like the jersey just does not match at all? Do you feel like a creative character, like in a video game with like you're first starting out and it's like nothing matches?
Yeah, it definitely feels weird at the start, and then you see pictures of you don't really know when you're playing yourself, and then you see a picture of it and you're like, oh
okay. Or like, especially like the ECHL, they have like a bunch of like the like crazy jersey nights and stuff like that. You know, like you get some fun ones there. So
yeah, we had a few crazy ones. It was like a cow print with some pink on it, and didn't really go well with the teal. But
let's not go with the teal. All right. Question I have to ask every hockey player: socks and skates. Are you a monster who does not wear socks with your skates?
No, I wear socks for sure. Some people don't.
There's always somebody, right?
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen that, or at least not in a while anyways.
There's everybody I talk to says like, no, of course, you know, why would you do that? But the people who do, they say it's amazing, but it sounds like something a monster would do to me.
I think there's a rule now. We need to wear those cut proof socks now. So maybe that'll phase out now.
Hopefully. Ryan Merkley, former Sharks defenseman, did not wear socks with his skates. Your game day prep, are you a like superstitious, little stitious, or you let it flow type of guy?
I guess maybe a little. I don't think it's anything crazy though. I just try to keep the same routine. During the day, I kind of just let it flow. Just if I feel tired, I'll nap. If not, I'll just stay up. But once I get to the rink, usually I have the same routine of stuff I do. I'll usually take my sticks when I get there, and then from there roll out and stuff. So usually I keep the same routine from getting to the rink and then to the game. But before that, it's pretty loose.
I was gonna say, like some guys like I got to take like a 90-minute nap. I got to do this. I got to do that. Are you at least like all like some guys are like left pads first, then right pads? Are you the same thing like that, or you just however they get on, they get on?
Yeah, probably however they get on. I'm sure subconsciously I end up doing the same thing, but I don't consciously think about it.
Are you a coffee before game person?
No, I don't have caffeine usually. I try to stay pretty calm, so at least that helps me go to bed after the game too.
That does. Wait till you have kids, then that throws out the whole thing. So yes, the naps and the coffee
there.
Yeah. And then are you? I know like goalies a little bit different. It's almost like pitchers, like with baseball, right? Where you kind of get in your own little world over there. Or do you like people coming to interact with you, or do you like to kind of be off in your own little world when you're getting ready?
I don't know. I'd say probably like to stay on my own a little bit more, but I'm not gonna like push away someone if they're trying to talk to me.
Gotcha.
I guess I wouldn't. As a person, I'm not really the loudest guy out there, so I'm just kind of in my own head trying to get ready on my own. So
I'm sure with Askarov, who seems like I've talked to him a couple of times, very out there type of guy. I'm sure he's doing his thing and all around, and you're just like trying to stay here and get ready.
Yeah, definitely more outgoing than me. That's for sure.
He's a very outgoing guy. Yeah, he's a really fun guy. All right. Our last question. So when you're not training or preparing or like any hockey stuff, what's your favorite like off-season thing to do?
I like to play tennis from time to time. Me and my girlfriend will play that. Sometimes maybe my mom will go out there too. I also like hiking and just being outside in general, getting some sun, especially the off seasons during the summer. So take advantage of it, but not as much now. I get sun all year round here, so that helps.
Awesome. Plenty if I'm sure you'll probably be around at some point during the summer for training or whatever it is. Plenty of great hikes, especially in the North Bay, like north of San Francisco.
Okay.
Yeah, Marin County, there's a bajillion places to go hiking up there. So a little bit of a trek, but yeah, it's plenty of places up there to go check out and hike. So Gabe, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. Stay healthy, and hopefully we get that re-sign contract this summer. So we want you to stick around. I think the Sharks really found something in you, man. So
awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Appreciate it. Best of luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Thanks to Gabe Carriere for spending some time hanging out with us as we get to know him a little bit more. The Sharks scouting, they keep finding these dudes. They found Romanov. Nobody heard of Romanov. They found Carriere. Carriere feels like he can be a really solid piece for the Sharks organization for years to come. So thank you to the San Jose Barracuda, Nick, for helping set this up. Carriere seems like a great dude. I hope we get to see him in San Jose for the next couple of seasons. So that's going to be it for me today. We'll be back tomorrow. I should have another draft profile ready to go for you guys. So make sure you guys are following along wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. You can also follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Locked On Sharks. Follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky at My Fry Hole. Till tomorrow. Bye, friends.